Hi guys, so today we'll be discussing the relationship between reliability and validity and why these two concepts are especially important to measurement. So first off, we got to define these two concepts. So validity is when something is measuring what it's supposed to measure, right? And then reliability would be the consistency of these, let's say these measurements, for example. So a test is hurt if something is not consistent, right? Because if it's not consistently measuring this certain thing and it's like getting like scattered everywhere, then the test is hurt. These measurements aren't valid because it's not reliable. We don't have something that we could look towards and get what we're supposed to and get these results that we want from this test. So that's when we would need another test that is reliable in order for it to be valid. So nothing could be uh so it can be valid if it's not reliable, right? Let's say it's not consistently hitting what we want. Let's say if you take a test and we're not consistently getting the results that, let's say it's measuring what it's supposed to. Let's say we take a test like the SAT and it's not designed to hit the specific result of like showing how educated someone is in a certain topic, then it's not reliable. It's not consistent. So that's where it loses its validity. So let's say we have the more uh, example that everybody knows is the bullseye, right? Something's scattered everywhere, all the points are hit everywhere in the bullseye, then it's not valid or reliable. But let's say it's reliable, right? But let's say it's hitting all the bullseyes are hitting in a specific spot, but not in the center where we want it, which is would be the validity because it's what we want to measure, which is the center point, but it's not reliable because it's not hitting the point that we. I mean, it is reliable. It's hitting a point, but it's not hitting the point we want. So that's where it loses its validity. So that's where we want these measurements to be intertwined in a sense in the center point, which is where exactly where we want it, because it's measuring where we want it to hit, and it's being so it's consistently hitting that spot, the center point. So that's where these it becomes really important in measurements, because if these measurements aren't specific and consistent, then we don't have the validity in these measurements. So that's where these tests, or let's say these designs for finding these certain results, are not specific into what we want in the measurements. So let's say a scatter plot or other things. It's not consistent. So that's the relationship between reliability and validity and how it has an impact on measurement.